Taylors and the Betty Wrights and Denise
Wow.
LaSalle's and the Aretha Franklins and the
Right.
Sam Cookes and the
Right.
Otis Reddings and the like all the greats and the Al Greens and the Isleys, all of those. Curtis Mayfield, man, just
Wow.
everybody. And that was all playing in my house on a constant basis, whether there was a card game or not. That music was playing during the card parties. It was
Mm-hmm.
playing during the holidays. It was playing when somebody was going through something. It was playing when we were cleaning the house and my grandma would give us our own pots of cleaning solution. And you put the windows up and you clean the house from top to bottom.
Right.
That music was playing. And I was the only one who caught it.
Okay.
It's stuck to me. Like there are no other music people in my family.
Wow.
Nobody sings, nobody plays. We are all in some way lovers of music, but I'm the only one that caught the bug.
Okay. Okay.
And and I was part of a rap group. Me and two of my friends. I was part of a rap group growing up, and
What was the name of the group?
bruh, we disbanded when we found out there was a real group that actually had our name
Oh,
and they
really?
was out
Okay.
there
Okay. Okay.
making
All right.
moves. Our name, our name. If you remember Rough Ends,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
our name because our ends was rough, bruh. So
Ah.
our name was Rough Ends, and like we were kids. We literally disbanded the group when Rough Ends came onto the scene, and they came on strong too. It's like, man, we
But
might as
Rough
well
Ends, I believe they
just.
were R&B, weren't they?
They were R&B,
Yeah. Yeah.
so we were rap, we were hip hop, and then how I stumbled on my singing voice
Okay.
was um one day my boy Jamar was like, all right, we got this song, here's the hook, but we need somebody to sing the hook. And we were trying to think of who we could get to sing the hook.
Okay.
And I'm like, you know what? I'll try it. And I tried it, and everybody liked it.
Ah.
And it stuck with me. So I started to get into more activities. I started to get in the choir every year. I started to sing a little bit here, a little bit there, but I really wasn't sure of it. I still wasn't sure of it.
Okay.
And
Okay.
then, in school, what I'm saying, then, the ladies started liking it.
Yeah.
And I would just be singing in the hallway and sing, what I'm saying, singing everybody's favorite songs on the porch. And then crowds of people would start coming around. Like it was
Hmm.
dope. And that's when I kind of knew something was going on. Like, so that was kind of how, and the rap, I mean, I swear, like number one fan, I recorded, not just recorded it, but I recorded that in Philly. I bought the track from a friend of mine who is actually a producer for Interscope Records in Russia. And
Wow.
so, yeah, man. And he's a great guy and a great talent. And I bought the track from him and I was kind of scared. Like, I don't know what to do with it. Maybe I'll just kind of sell it. And then I started writing lyrics and God started giving me these lyrics. I'm like, this is not for me. Like,
Hmm. Okay.
so I went on ahead, got over my fear, actually went into the studio, Speed Rider Productions right outside Philly. And I recorded it.
Wow.
And that was sent off and it caught the attention of a few labels.
Wow. Okay.
And those labels, myself and those labels, we've been talking every, kind of revisiting the idea or the potential that something is there. And then I kept on recording and kept writing and kept recording. And ultimately, I ended up with like an EP.
Okay. Okay.
So, doing some things with that right now, and really talking to some people about the songs. I may not perform them myself, but one way or the other, the people of Wakanda will hear them. So,
Right.
one way or the other.
So
Yeah, man.
but so you do have another song called Sauce.
Yeah, man.
So let people. Why you laugh?
Oh man, Sauce is like my pride and joy, man.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
So let people know
Sauce.
about that too.
So the song Sauce is kind of a play on how we as a culture have kind of identified the word. So, you know what, we've identified the word in this time in our culture as, you know what I'm saying, you got sauce. Like
Right,
you know what I'm saying, you got drip, you got sauce. Like you know, you got the right fit on, you got the right jewelry on, you drive the right car, you live in the right house, like you got sauce, you dripping, you know what I'm
right.
saying? So I took that concept and I said, okay, those things are cool. However, can we apply those things to the everyday average man or woman that's going to work, grinding, caring for their kids, trying to finish school, trying to get things done, trying to get their LLC started, trying to invest, trying to build, trying to make something, trying to make it out of certain situations that they may not want to be in and have grown up in or whatever. So sauce is like that thing, and I had hoped that it would become some kind of anthem that
Mm,
would catch on, whereby people who are in school, who have kids, struggling to do this, struggling to do that, trying to make it happen, those people have also have some sense of confidence. Like and it all ties in. Like I'm your number one fan because
mm-hmm.
I see you doing this. I see you doing that. I'm recognizing that even though you're not a housewife
Yeah.
of Atlanta, or not a
Right.
housewife of Potomac, or you're not this or that, or you're not this, or you're not on TV, or you're not in the industry, and I don't see you publicly, it doesn't mean that you're not grinding privately.
But see, I think that's part of the issue with media or as a whole, TV, YouTube, whatever. Unfortunately, we're always looking at these big houses. We're looking at these,
Right.
Maseratis and Bentleys and things
Right.
like that. And,
Opulence. Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
so we're yo, I need Balenciaga or,
Yeah. And those
s-
things are not real life for a lot of us. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but see,
that's
I think
not.
that's the part that, because it's so in your face and the people
Yeah.
that you follow are doing that, then when, like you said, these, what you would call everyday people, they don't, you don't feel as though they're so as influential to what you're doing or
Absolutely.
to what's going on,
Absolutely.
and not understand, like, yo, even those people that are making it that you might see with that, imagine what their grind is, because it's not like they're just
Right.
sitting around doing nothing, you know.
Right.
Even with that type of life, is not built for everybody either.
And also right, absolutely. And when what we see and when what's being fed to us, we now aspire to, the means in order to accomplish that become, somewhat survival tactics. And what we know about people who operate out of survival tactics, and also like a mode of desperation,
Mm-hmm.
is that a lot of times you'll do anything and you'll step on anybody or cut anybody's legs from under them
You're
in
right
order
about
to
that.
get that which you aspire to. But that's not necessary,
You're right about that. You're
because
right about
you
that.
want to be able to get there and live with yourself and be able to sleep at night. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right,
So if that's what you aspire to, just know that God has not set out the same path for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
right,
So
right.
it's like whatever your path is, ask God for that,
Yeah, yeah.
because you might be asking God for something somebody else done worked for, and not knowing what they had to go through to achieve that. And if you get what you want, hell, in some way that it could kill you.
Dude, and that's the thing. Like, you don't really know the sacrifices people have had to go through,
Absolutely.
or
And right.
or as you hear some people, man, like they really degrade themselves to get certain things.
Absolutely. And this is not to say that the people we see on these platforms have not made sacrifices, because that may not be true.
Yeah.
What we're saying is that the platform is, see, I know how this thing works, man. Like I having, learning and still learning how TV works, how film works, how
Right.
commercial works, how all of those dynamics. Like, what I have learned is like, you know, with reality TV, like a lot of those things, like, for instance, like when you watch the show and you notice that, there somebody's, giving a spiel on a certain event,
Mm-hmm.
and this happened and that happened, and then they cut to the person, and the person's giving a little depth or context to what happened, but they look completely different than what they did on the footage.
Right.
There's a reason for that. Like you got a whole beard while we sitting here trying to get context from you, but in the footage, like you were clean shaven. Like, how does
Right.
that happen?
Right.
Well, it happens because not all of that filming is done in a vacuum.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, all right, let us know when these events are coming up, when it's going to be highly populated, when it's almost a guarantee that some shit going to pop off, and this, that, and the other. Let us know. We'll be there, whatever. We'll shoot that.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll take another isolated event. We'll come to that occasion when we know three people who don't like each other are going to be there at the
Right.
same time.
Right.
And the likelihood is that will increase the chances that something will pop off. And because we got cameras in your face, it will.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, Lo? So, like, this whole thing that people are taking reality TV as real life and being influenced heavily by it,
Mm-hmm.
is not a bit problematic. It's a lot problematic.
But see,
I'm not shooting down reality TV
yeah.
or the stars. I mean, if somebody came and asked me to do, I mean, I've been writing one.
Right.
But I've been writing one about the impact of, addiction, and the impact of incarceration, and the
Right.
impact that has on those families and those
Right.
children down through the generations, and also following the journeys of the people who are, have been released and are trying to readjust themselves to society that has changed during the time they've been incarcerated. So that's the type of stuff that I'm looking at making reality TV shows about. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
So one of the things that, I just want to go back real quick. When I when I was talking about the sacrifices, I think people don't understand, like, a Cardi B, right? Even though she was on reality TV, but when you listen
right,
to her real story,
right,
what she might have done as a previous occupation, but also how
right.
hard she worked on being a rapper, being in this music
Absolutely.
industry.
Absolutely.
There's some real work that goes into that. There's some real work that, even though they might start off on reality TV where some is scripted, some it isn't. Again, like you said, some of that stuff, people don't know all that behind the scenes stuff. But but some of them do actually go to acting classes in school.
Right. Right.
Where they understand, like, if I'm really trying to do this for real, I need to take it to another level. It's
Absolutely.
not like, even though you might have a natural gift to be an actor or an actress, but
Right.
there are some things that you have to do to perfect it, to become
Right.
better in it. And I think
Right.
those are the type of
Absolutely.
things that people don't always get. They don't understand that they have to work hard
Right.
at whatever you're
Right.
trying to accomplish.
An
So,
example of that is, and I
mhm.
absolutely love Tammy Roman. Um,
Yeah.
an example, like, I heard her. She was doing an interview with somebody. I can't even remember who it was, and I think it was on DL Hughley's show,
Okay.
and she was like, people forget that before, you know, they saw me on, the Housewives. Like, I had an 18-year acting career.
Mm-hmm.
And, she was in the trenches, like underground, like working, grinding. She really was.
Right.
And she told her story. And I was like, wow, I had no idea. And then,
Right.
you go back far enough, and she was one of the catalysts who kind of kicked off, the real world type, you know what I mean? And, all those things. So she is one of those people who, and when I saw her in, what was the film starring Lil Mama that came on Lifetime? I think. What was that?
The one with
And Tammy
not
Roman. Tammy
TLC.
Roman was her mom.
That's not the TLC one, is it?
Tammy Roman. No. Tammy Roman played her mom. I
I
think.
don't know.
I think. I think Tasha Smith produced it from the Tyler Perry movies. Tasha
Okay.
Smith.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
no.
but
Oh hey.
Tammy Roman's acting chops are undeniable.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Like she's a